another orb movie. I'm first of all going to just go through a few of the latest orbs that I've been capturing with my camera. And in other videos I have explained how that I filmed this and that these orbs are just in the air all around us. It's just that they're invisible to us and they're so full of color. So I'm going to go through a few. Some of them have like a black area that looks like it's a hole in it. And they have some very unusual markings. Now my camera puts certain little things in each picture that are always in the same place, so I know it's just a thing that seems to be part of the camera. Maybe something trapped inside the workings of it or something, and I'm going to show you one of them. I call it the pea pod. This little thing right here. That's in every picture. But now I used to have a little thing over to the side, in more or less in this area, that looked like a little C-shaped thing, real similar to the pea pod, and now it's not showing up in my latest orb pictures. So these things, whatever they may be, they move around. This one hasn't moved around much, but sometimes in some of the other orb pictures you'll see it 2 and 3 times, like it's like you're getting a reflection of it or something. Now, okay, now my light source is right here where you see all these rays of light coming up, and my light source is a little LED light that doesn't shine, and it doesn't shine and brighten the whole room. So when it's night, this is the best time to take pictures of orbs, because you got to have darkness for that light to shine into before you can see this. I've tried it in the daytime, and you really don't get very much color in the orbs you see then. But it is my belief that these orbs are information in color, and they come out of the light itself. And I'll show you some other pictures that show that. You see how this one right here has all these little shafts of light like the others that you see right there? Well, I have some pictures where these are already colored, and with my eyes, when I'm looking without the camera, I can make this orb go right back into the light. It's just a matter of how I focus my eyes. I can make it go out and come in. So there's a connection with the way we view light and light. Now let me move on. See, now it comes out, as you can see right here, it looks like a teardrop shape, but then when it gets out further, like this one, it becomes round. And then also, if I have my camera on zoom when I'm looking at this, and I have the shutter down because you don't want the flash to come on. And what happens is, if I get a certain distance in the zooming of up on the orb, this won't be round, it will be a pentagon shape. I don't think I have any in this one that are the pentagon shape, but I've shown them before in other videos. But see how colorful? Right as soon as they come out of the light, they're full of color already. Here's one where I took it below. The light source is up above. And this has a little black spot. And I've seen it again and again inside of some of the orbs. And I've given it a nickname. I call him Harry, because he looks like he's got little hairy legs. Anyway, you'll be seeing Harry again. And this is just one where the light source is over here in this area. And you can see the shafts of light as they go into this orb. Here's another one to show that same thing. And the light, as the shafts of light come from the source, they have the color in them as they're coming out. Look at that purple and aqua and violet that are in this one, and blue. The colors are just amazing. And this is another one. The green that's right there, that's part of my computer. That's a little light that comes on. If there's a light in the background anywhere that is bright, it will show in the picture. But there's a lot of things behind this orb that are just in my room, things that are on my desk, and they don't show up. But if it's a light, it shows up. Or if it's something that reflects a lot of light, then it will show up. There's another one. I'll just go through these because I'm going to show you moving orbs, the orb movie, when I get to it. And there's another one. And look at the colors coming out of the light here. The light source is, oh, I don't even know where it is in this picture. It must be behind this, because see, these are the marbles here, but it's not the roundness of the marble you're seeing. The marble's much bigger than this little area. This is a glint of light reflection from off of the marble. That's what I focus on, and that's what I zoom in on, and that's what turns into an orb for me. And people have asked me, well, how do I get these pictures? And I tell them, don't look into the marble itself. You'll see the inside of the marble, and it will be obvious that, oh, that's just the inside of the marble. And it's a pretty clear marble, but it's got little pockets of air, little round air spots in the marble. And there's flaws on the surface of it. But these colors have nothing to do with that, or maybe they do. Maybe the flaws reflect the light in a certain way so that it does. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on this one. You see this orb seems to be passing through this other orb, because you can see it there, how it does that. These orbs are compatible with each other because they share their light with one another and they pass right through one another, and I have to believe that they are little intelligent light photons that have a kind of a mind of their own. There's another great big orb of color coming from the light. There's another one. Pay no attention to that little green light. That's from my computer. There's one more. And another one. Now here's an orb, and you can see some of the color of light is either going into it or escaping from it. I don't know. But when I look at orbs with my naked eye, without the aid of the camera, and it will be filled with so many colors, but the colors, if I close my eye just a little bit, the orb changes its shape and all the colors just fall out, sort of like you see them here. Only all of the color is falling. And it falls out from the top and it falls out from the bottom. I can't show you that because that's something I see that I haven't quite been able to capture that event with the camera. The camera doesn't pick up near so much as what I'm seeing. And the reason I know this is not just something marbles do, which I've been told, this is just something the camera does and something about, you know, looking at a marble. I'm not looking through the marble. I'm looking at the reflection off of the marble. But I would say, well, it could be the camera if I didn't know that I see these same things without the aid of the camera with my naked eye. So, that's not the camera. I mean, I guess our eyes are sort of like a camera, but if I see it that way, and then the camera also sees it a little bit differently than my eyes see it, then I know it's not just something the camera's doing. So I rule that out completely. I know the camera does add some little spots because I see this spot and that spot and the little pea pod spot right there. They're always in the same place on the screen. So, that's probably part due to the camera. But all the colors, they can't be an oddity of the camera. Let me zoom up on this one. And it's, it reminds me of tie-dye shirts. People used to, that was kind of popular to have tie-dye. And these are beautiful colors. The arrangement that, I guess you would say, nature gives these orbs is very interesting. The patterning. And there's no two orbs that I've ever found that are alike. Like, look at this one. It has hardly any color at all. It's got a couple of dark spots. And there's all these little circles. And sometimes there's more circles and sometimes there's less. But when I'm viewing them through the camera, so I can see them come and go. Like there were a mouth that was breathing and coming up to the surface, because all of this looks liquid. Now, I've been reading a book that's talking about our link with God is called the perispirit. And it's like around the seed of a peach. You know, you have the inside soft core of the seed, and then you have the outer husk of it, but you have a connection between the outer husk and the inner seed. And that would be the perispirit of that peach seed. But we also have that, and it's our connecting link to God. And it's liquid. That's what it said in the book, it's a liquid. And this shimmers with liquid-likeness. Also, sometimes it looks like fire, and sometimes it looks just like, I don't know what to say, like this one, with odd things in it. Like this one has these two dark spots. I'll bring it up a little bit. There's no accounting for what this is because I have no idea. I just find it fascinating that I've captured this. I kind of feel like I'm looking at something that is the smallest thing. You know, where quantum physicists are always searching for the tiniest thing inside the atom. Maybe they need to be looking inside the photon of light for the tiniest thing. I'm just going to go through these rather fast now. Like I say, there's no two alike. Look at the colors in that one. More pinks and greens and purples. And this one, hardly without color. That one, hardly without color. And this one with some really bright colors, and you see the colors coming into it here from this. Because, see, this is forming another orb, this part right here. And you'll see that in the moving picture. You'll see how that goes into this. And I will get to the movie part here in a minute. Okay, next. Oh, well, what did I do? Let me go back to the library so I can get to the movie. Sometimes when I'm making these, I forget how to work work this. Okay, this is the one I want to do, is the movie. Okay, and it should come up next. This is me looking through at the orbs, and I have my camera on video. Now, I always film it after that I've made the movie. I film it with another camera that's a movie camera. It's a little flip video camera. Because if you were to hear the background of this, it's my heavy breathing because I'm having to hold so still, and then the creaking of my chair, and then my dog moaning or any other noise that's in the house, and it all is not very fun to hear. So I just take a video of a video when I'm showing these. I'm moving it around a little bit so that I see what's all out there in this, in these rays of light that are coming from my light source. And you see these rays are very colorful. And there's some of my usual glitches that are always there in those spots. And it's like I'm looking around, and as I move the thing I'm looking through about, it's like I'm exploring another terrain. But it's not just one other terrain. Different ones of the reflections of light that come off the marbles show different terrains. I can jump from one to the other, focusing my camera on one orb or another. And it's like, wow, what is this that's all around us that we don't see? But it's there. I think this is proof that it's there. This gets to be real beautiful. Actually, when I'm looking at it, it's way more clear. It's kind of fuzzy. Sometimes you lose a little of the resolution when you have it real big. I could reduce the size. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Come back, movie. Oh, there you are. To continue on. I thought I could make it smaller there so it would be more clear. I'm just going to let it play a little while and I'll just talk about other things because I really don't know what these orbs are doing. So I can't tell you much. It's just a viewing thing. Look at that. Isn't that spectacular? There were these centers that had a white spot, and they just were every few paces away. It would be another one of them, and then some really colorful stuff there too. It is quite amazing, but there's a paradox here. It's like I've not got much attention with this, and I've had this video out there, but I've not got the kind of attention I would like to have of someone who could critique it for me and tell me what they think I'm seeing. It's like this just baffles the mind so much that scientific-minded people that have some kind of concept of how things are working don't have a concept of this orb world. It's sort of like on the fringes of what we want to talk about, talking about orbs. Sometimes people think, oh, you're one of those. You know, you think these orbs are intelligent. And they just shrink off from ever investigating it any further because it sort of insults their intelligence, they think. But it's because of a kind of a, I think it's a fear. They're afraid to look into this. But I wish they would, because I think many of us need to be looking into this and trying to figure something out about it. Because maybe we can work with these orbs. If they're like the peri-spirit, the connection with us and God, and it's light and it's liquid and it's influenced by us, which it is. If you've seen my other videos of orbs, that I have music in the background, and I've got the music in the background as I'm taking a picture of the orbs, and it's in sync with the music. The colors are beautiful, and it kind of moves like you've seen radios and things that have the little lights that flash up and down according to the vibrations of the music. Well, that's what this orb does. Now here I'm looking at my light, and the light makes this purple rod that goes right through it from the top down to the bottom. And certain times of the day, I've used my camera to look at the light to see if that purple rod is there, but certain times of day it doesn't show up. Other times it does, especially in the evening it shows up. There's a little hairy thing moving around right there. I call him Harry. He's my little creature. I honestly think light could be occupied by little animal-like, or not animal-like, let's say little creatures that fly about like we have flies flying about. Because I've looked at a lot of videos of like the space shuttle out in space had all these round orb-like things flying around this extension of the space shuttle that they were doing something to, and they were swarming it like a swarm of insects would swarm something, not like real spacecraft with intelligences that are not going to swarm like that, maybe. How do I know, though? I don't know. But it looked more like the activity of an insect. So there could be that there are space creatures. No doubt there are space creatures that are light, composed of light. And we know nothing about this, hardly anything we know about this realm of activity. And when you study this sort of thing, you come under the ridicule of so many people. Like, no one in my immediate surroundings is interested in what I'm seeing, and so I would like them to get interested, but they've kind of looked at it a little bit, and about the most they can say is, oh, that's very beautiful. Well, yeah, the colors are very beautiful, but what is this? That's a deeper question. And they'll write it off as, oh, that's just something marbles do. And it's like, okay, I don't have someone to talk with in you because you just refuse to have any interest in it. And you know, you can't make a person have an interest in something, much as you might want them to. If they don't come by it on their own, by their own desire, then it would even probably be wrong to drag them into it and force them. Not that I can force anyone to look at anything, but I'm constantly amazed that I'm the only one in this household that's curious about this. So that said, my daughter that says, oh, well, they're beautiful, she helps me in so many ways to pursue this interest. Just the other day, she bought me a little Lenovo Android thing that I can look at my videos on and read books on and show other people that when I'm out and about and I'm not in front of my camera. In front of my computer. This little Lenovo gadget that I'm just now learning. There's so many things it can do. It plays games and all kinds of things. And I'm excited about learning more of what it will do, because I can show people my movies of orbs like this one. If I put it on YouTube, this little device will sync with my YouTube, and I can show this to anyone anywhere. Which is a good thing, because I'm going to be going to Arizona real soon now, in about 7 or 8 days. And I will be meeting some people from the Sedona area, probably, and they're very metaphysical minded. They might be interested in understanding what this is, or looking into it. I, as yet, do not know if someone else's camera is able to pick up orbs like my camera is, because no one has replied that they've tried this and it's worked for them. I have had a few inquiries as to what exactly are you doing that you get this orb picture from your camera, and I tell them everything I do, how that you want the room to be dark, and you want to have a little LED light, and you want to put it up on a high shelf and have it shine down into the room. And then you just want to get your little glass things I've shown with the little glass marbles, and focus up close, at varying degrees of close, to the shiny little glint of light that will be reflected off of that marble. Now that's the only way I can get the pictures myself. So that's what I tell them to do, but I haven't heard back from anyone who's done it successfully yet. That's going to happen though. Someone is going to do this. Anyway, what else to talk about? Oh, I wanted to talk about the sun. Now, some people think that the sun is a boiling hot place, you know, that it's just gas burning or something, and it's just really hot. But I was reading in a book called The Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East, and there was a point where Jesus was talking. They talked to many of the masters in this book, because this team of researchers went to India, and they met these people that were reputed to be there, and they went there just to find out if this were true, if there really were masters like this in these remote areas of the Himalaya mountains. And they did. They met the masters, and the masters showed them some marvelous things. They were very capable of doing so many things that us humans can't do. But there is within us the latent ability. It's not dominant now in us, but it can be if we develop it, to do the same things that they did. And I mean, they could travel, they could just teleport themselves somewhere, and they could walk on water, and they could bring about any needed object just with their mind. It was amazing. But mostly the people that they were among, the simple villagers that were in these high mountain regions, they didn't want, all of them didn't want to learn how the masters did it. They just wanted the masters to do it for them. And they wouldn't inquire as to a master coming to them until they were in dire states, like they were very sick or something. And isn't that just like people? Sometimes we just get lazy, we don't want to try to learn, or we think it's impossible for us to ever accomplish something that a master has, an ascended master. But they impressed me, and because they said over and over, this is something you can do as well. And it's no big deal. Manifesting something out of the thin air was no big deal. What was a big deal with them was if they could get someone to open up their mind, or someone to decide to be kind instead of being selfish. Now, that was a difficult thing. Okay, I'm going to show you a little bit, but I can't do much more because I'm getting way up there in the minutes. I'll show you some of this movie. I'm using a little smaller marble, and so you get a lot of the orbs all together. But this is what Jesus said about the sun. I forgot it. I was on that topic. He said, the sun has neither heat nor light. Now, doesn't that blow you away? What we see heat and light, we know there's heat and light up there where the sun is. But that's the interaction of the rays, the cosmic rays that come from the sun, interacting with the rays that come from the earth or other planets. And in another book I read that all the concentrated rays of the sun could not even give you a sunburn if those rays were not also contained within you. It just draws out of us what's in us and in our planet. And which makes me think, if we think the solar flares are getting too violent, then we need to calm our thoughts down, because the sun holds ideal, not physicalness, but ideal, the ideal of the violet, the ideal of the lake, the wind, the stream, whatever, and our thoughts. So we can affect the sun to calm it down but in our world there's so much turmoil and so much misunderstanding between people. Well, we've got to learn to love one another. It may be the only thing, well, I know it's the only thing that will save us from destroying our beautiful earth. But I don't think that's going to happen, so take cheer. I don't think that's going to happen, because there are ascended masters who have the gift of being able to see the future, and that's not to be what will happen. Well, I got to 30 minutes. This might not record. I don't know how many minutes they'll let me have. I'm going to have to end it right now. This is the Dove Lady, over and out.